This one comment changed the course of my next few weeks. In an unexpected turn of events, I'm going to be redrawing some of the Twilight characters. We'll see how many I get through, but at least my favorites for the first time since, let's say, 2009. I couldn't even tell you the last time I drew them because it's been that long. And we're going to see if I can draw them again and make my 14-year-old self happy with how I've improved. A few clarifications as we go through this project. One, this is not going to be the movie, this is going to be the book. They're going to be as book accurate as I remember, and they're going to be really just me trying to stay true to my 14-year-old self. So who better to start this off with Bella, who I actually don't know if I ever drew her, I'm going to be honest, but we're going to go with what I know I was drawing back then. Every girl had bangs. For the movies, Stephanie Meyer had actors that she imagined as the characters, and for Bella, she had Emily Browning. The point was that she had like this round face and built-like eyes. She was supposed to look really innocent. So I want to make sure I do that here, but I also just wanted to look approachable, and I wanted to look like somebody I could have been friends with. She was your stereotypical teenage girl during this time, and that's what I want to capture. Next up is going to obviously be the one, the only Edward Cullen. So follow for the next episode of, I guess, this series of drawing Twilight characters. Get in, losers, we're drawing Edward Cullen. If you're new here, hi, I'm Olivia and I'm redrawing as many Twilight characters as I can for the first time since I was a kid. The goal of this project is to try to stay true to my 14-year-old self and how I would have tried to draw them. I have one Edward Cullen drawing that I could find. Let's take a second to appreciate this drawing. I tried. 14-year-old me tried. She did great. I think what we're going to use, I like this middle part. That was an interesting choice that I made. And the trench coat. I think he gives off bookish vibes to me. He's definitely somebody who is intelligent. He spent his time reading books, studying languages. So I want that to come across here, that he is not a typical teenage boy. He is somebody who looks a little bit out of place during this era. I mean, he was quite literally a Victorian boy who died of the Spanish influenza, so I feel like that makes sense. Again, if you were on the internet pre-movies, you remember that this actor was somebody who was thrown around as a potential fan cast. He actually passed away recently, so that's really sad. Rest in peace. It's really been so long since I've read these that I couldn't tell you if this is exactly how I imagined him, but I feel like it's a fair interpretation of the sketch that I had. So there we have it, Edward Cullen. Who should I draw next? Let me know in the comments. Never say I don't listen. We're drawing Alice Cullen. Let's go. Hello again, my name is Olivia and I'm redrawing all the Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid. The goal of this project is to heal my inner child and try to draw them how I would have attempted to draw them when I was younger. But we're in an uncharted territory now. You're probably thinking, Olivia, you've drawn 2 characters. How are we already in uncharted territory? Well, 14-year-old me really only cared about Edward and Bella and didn't even attempt to draw anybody else. But I can look back at old drawings and maybe think about how I would have tried to draw her. One thing is her hair. I definitely wanted her hair to be a true pixie cut, not like how she's styled in the first movie. Her face, though, I'm going to be totally honest, kind of landed up in an Ashley Green-like territory, which I remember thinking at the time when those movies came out that her face wasn't too far off from what I pictured, so how I ended up here is honestly fine to me. The thing that this drawing took me for a loop, though, is the outfit. Now, what does Alice Cullen wear? My first attempt at drawing this, I put her in some like skater girl outfit. I think this was the most true to 2009 me that would have tried to draw something like this. However, that didn't feel very Alice Cullen to me. The more I thought about her, that she's like a little quirky, she's light, she's like a ballerina, she's almost like a fairy, right? Then I started going down a Phoebe Buffay kind of just route. That like eccentricity in her outfits, and so I went towards this longer skirt. But then I changed the longer skirt outfit to be more colorful, and this is where we ended up. So I redrew her 3 times. So this one was a journey. I took a lot of routes to get here, but I think this might actually be my favorite, mainly because I let myself have the most fun. But you tell me, do you have a preference of the 3 that I drew? Let me know in the comments, and let me know who I should draw next. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to the series that you didn't know you wanted, but now that it's here, you're so happy that it exists. We are drawing. If you're new here, I'm Olivia, and I'm redrawing the Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid, with the goal of drawing them as 14-year-old me would have tried to draw them. Now, I know I'm one day past October 3rd, and I missed the perfect opportunity to make a Mean Girls reference, because I feel like Rosalie, at least at my age of 14, encompassed Mean Girls. This isn't to say I didn't like her. I grew to like her over time, and I mean, my relationship with these books has changed, obviously. Now I'm not 14 anymore, but I know at the time I definitely viewed her more of a mean girl, but I understand that she was misunderstood. Still, I definitely think 14-year-old me would have tried to draw her that way. So you'll see her outfit here is very heavily inspired by a Mean Girl outfit. I think Regina George is wearing something incredibly similar. I know during this time, those like off-the-shoulder shirts and the mini skirts were trying this had me wondering, like, did the school not have like a dress code? Probably not, but it's fine. She comes off proud and judgmental, but ultimately, as you get to know her, she warms up to you and she's incredibly loyal. She's also described as like stunningly beautiful, which as an artist is like the most fun thing to draw. I love drawing pretty people. As usual, put your thoughts in the comments. I love to read them. I promise I'm reading them, and let me know who I should draw next. I'm really curious what you guys are going to think of this one. We are drawing Jasper. Welcome back to the series where I'm redrawing Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid, with the goal of drawing them as 14-year-old me would have tried to draw them. With that in mind, 14-year-old me couldn't have cared less about this character, if I'm truly honest. And so drawing him this time around was strange, but you guys really wanted I'm genuinely surprised by the amount of people that requested this, because I found him to be the least interesting of the Cullens, but because I genuinely had nothing to go on from past memory, as I was, looking up his description, looking at fan cast, it made me think of Dean Winchester. I'm not claiming he looks like Dean Winchester, but there's some sort of like the soldier element that had my brain making a connection for his clothes, not for his face. Well, yes, I think Alice is probably dressing him as, I don't think he's dressing for personality. I think he's dressing for utility. I wanted to reflect that soldier aspect to him, even in his pose. I wanted him to look like he's standing at salute. So he's on guard because he was the most recent Cullen to be turned. So that's Jasper. All things considered, I think he turned out pretty good. I'm going to draw all the rest of the Cullens plus Jacob and Renesmee. So as usual, thanks for watching, and let me know who I should draw next. The beloved himbo of the group. Can you guess who I'm drawing? Yes, we're drawing Emmett. Welcome back to the series where I'm drawing Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid, with the goal of drawing them as my young self would have wanted me to draw them. Now, as I was doing research for this, I realized I had no memory of Emmett's backstory whatsoever. All I remembered of Emmett was that he was strong, he was the jock, and he was really nice. And I really had no memory of his backstory whatsoever besides that, and honestly, it didn't really matter. This turned out to be the easiest drawing of the bunch so far, mainly because he's a clear stereotype almost of a character. When I thought about his clothes, I just imagined him being in like some sort of athletic wear or a sweatshirt if he's going to school. Back then I was drawing almost every semi-athletic guy in some sort of hoodie, so he fit that and I wanted his pose to be relaxed and friendly because that's who he was. He's a relaxed, friendly southern guy. Yeah, it turned out he was like from the south. I didn't realize that. Getting his like burly buff shape was probably the hardest part, but otherwise he was really simple and easy to draw. He's another character that 14-year-old me would have never tried to draw, but I'm happy with this. Let me know what you think, and as usual, who I should draw next. Hello, where the hell have you been? Welcome back, everyone. My name is Olivia, and I'm redrawing Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid. 14-year-old me was staunchly Team Edward. So while I didn't dislike Jacob, he's just not somebody I would have prioritized to draw. So this actually turned out to be super, super fun, though, as an adult. When I was going about drawing this, I decided to just draw him post-wolf, but I gave him two hairstyles. I gave him the long hairstyle, and I gave him the short cut that happened after he became a wolf. So first of all, I had no idea that Jacob was like 6'7". That's an absurd height. So all the heights on these drawings are completely inaccurate. When I put them together, they're not going to be proportional, but we're going to ignore that. And when I was looking at actors and fan casts that I could reference for this, I actually found the actor that played Seth Clearwater in the original movies, Boo Boo Stewart, and I think he's the perfect Jacob's meant to be warm and friendly and fun, and while that supposedly shifts after he becomes a wolf, I wanted to bring it back even in this like post-wolf state. And I gave him jorts because I feel like that made sense because he's always hot. Honestly, the best part about drawing him was that he is not deathly pale like the rest of the Cullens. My drawings sometimes look so weird because they're like the lightest pale shade, and this was actually like a tan color. Let me know what you think of him and if I captured him in both of his states, and we have 3 drawings left: Carlisle, Esme, and Renesmee. Stay tuned for those, and thanks for watching. The Doctor is in. Welcome back, everyone, to my series where I'm redrawing Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid, as younger me would have wanted me to draw them, and we are drawing the very highly requested Carlisle Cullen, the leader, the patriarch of the clan. Did you know that he is supposedly 23 years old? That was his age when he got turned into a vampire. And honestly, it's no wonder that people thought the Cullens were weird, because this was a child with like 5 other children. Like, it's kind of crazy. But regardless, when I was thinking about how I wanted to draw and an actor that maybe I could reference, I thought the character Chase from the show House. A young, attractive, blonde doctor was just the first thing that came to my mind, and I realized that he kind of fit the bill almost perfectly, so he was my main reference as I was trying to draw Carlisle. He's charming and friendly, warm and caring, and good to his patients, so I wanted to make sure I captured that here, and I also wanted to emphasize his youth, because I'm sure to the average person that would have been really surprising to see such a young, experienced doctor. Let me know what you think of Carlisle. I know this was highly requested, and be sure to follow along as I finish up this series with Esme and Renesmee coming soon. Mommy, No. Mamacita? Welcome back, everyone. My name is Olivia, and I'm redrawing Twilight characters for the first time since I was a kid. I only have 2 characters left, and today we are drawing a character that I also did not care a lot about. You see a trend here, and that is Esme. She's physically the oldest of the group. She is 26 years old. She has a backstory similar to Rosalie. This is honestly the competition for the saddest backstory part 2, Six of Crows, if you know. When it came to her physical description, I wanted her to look younger. 26 is quite young. She's described as having a heart-shaped face, well, slim but curvy. And I want her hair and style to exude the early 2000s. So I found Emmy Rossum at the Phantom of the Opera premiere. This is a perfect kind of, it's not matronly, but it's definitely more mature than everyone else. And I want her to look set apart from the group since she is supposed to be their mom, as well as loving and kind. And that's how you know you've gotten older, when Esme becomes a more interesting character, such as life. So thank you guys for watching. We have one more left in this series. We have Renesmee. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll come next week. And then leave comments about who you want me to draw next, what series. I'm thinking of Pride and Prejudice characters. So let me know what you think about them. Renesmee, Nessie, Ravioli, Rigatoni, all the names you may know her by. We're on the last video of my series where I'm redrawing Twilight characters, and arguably the most controversial one for last. I wasn't sure what age to draw Renesmee. I wasn't interested in drawing her as a baby, but it felt weird drawing her the same age as her parents, so she's kind of like a little bit younger here. I'm gonna say she's a solid 15 years old. I don't have to explain much about this character to you. What surprised me in my research, though, is that she has red curly hair. It's supposed to be the most beautiful of them all, but I'm ignoring that detail for the sake of this video because I actually think it's more interesting that she looks a little bit more human than her vampire. My references for her were Mackenzie Foy, who played her in the movies. I don't think this turned out looking like Mackenzie Foy, but she's someone I referenced. And this is definitely an early 2000s teenage outfit with a tunic shirt and like a mini skirt and boots, so I really liked this outfit. I feel like it works for her. And there she is in all her glory. Now this may be the end of my Twilight series, but I will be restarting another one. And it'll be Pride and Prejudice characters, which I'm super excited for. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, supporting this series, and help me stay motivated when I almost gave up. So thank you so much, and let me know which one I've drawn is your favorite.